This is not the end. It feels like the end. It looks like the end. It smells like the end. But it is not the end. I know what your heart is saying. I know what your soul is whispering. You feel tired. You feel like nothing makes sense anymore. You've tried everything. You've prayed. You've cried. You've fought. And still, nothing seems to change. You've been so strong for so long. And now you're at the point where even waking up feels like a chore. Breathing feels heavy. Hope feels distant. But I came to tell you, not by my power, not by emotion, but by the Spirit of the living God, this is not the end. Right now, you're standing in the middle of what feels like a dead end, but God is not finished writing your story. There are still pages left. There are still chapters that haven't been read. There is still light you haven't seen. And most of all, there is still breath in your lungs. Which means there is still purpose in your life. The enemy wants to convince you it's over. He wants to isolate you, drown you in fear, bury you in guilt, and cover you in shame. But he is a liar, and God's word is the truth. Let me give you the first verse for your weary soul, Isaiah 41 verse 10. Fear not, for I am with you, be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This is not just a verse. This is a lifeline. This is not poetic encouragement, it is divine truth. Fear not. Not because you have the solution. Not because things are easy. But because God is with you. Even now. Even when you don't feel Him. Even when you can't trace His hand. He is still there. He hasn't abandoned you. He hasn't turned His back on you. He hasn't left you to be swallowed by the darkness. He is holding you with His righteous right hand. You may have been betrayed by people, but God remains faithful. You may have lost your strength, but God will renew it. You may be weeping now, but joy is still coming. You may be in the valley, but you are not buried, you are being planted. The roots of your faith are growing in this soil. The fruits of your endurance will blossom in due time. I know it's hard. I know it's dark. I know it feels final. But let me tell you this, the cross looked like the end too. When Jesus was on that cross, bloodied, mocked, pierced, hanging between two thieves, even the disciples gave up. They walked away in sorrow. They believed the enemy had won. But the third day came. The stone rolled away. And what looked like the end was actually the greatest beginning in history. Resurrection came after the pain. Glory followed the suffering. And that same resurrection power is alive today, alive in you. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not alone. God is with you in the fire. He is with you in the flood. He is with you in the hospital room. He is with you in the heartbreak. He is with you in the silence. You may not see Him, but He sees you. You may not hear Him, but He's speaking through His word, through your tears, through this very message. And His voice is saying, I'm still here. I'm still fighting for you. I'm still writing your story. Let me give you the second verse, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Listen to that again, plans to prosper you. Not to destroy you. Not to abandon you. Not to punish you, but to prosper you. To give you a future. A hope. A reason to wake up tomorrow. A reason to hold on. A reason to keep breathing. The God who created the universe has plans for your life. He has not given up on you. Don't you dare give up on yourself. You may not understand the plan. You may not like the process. But if God is the author, then the end will be good. He doesn't write tragedies that stay tragic. He turns graves into gardens. He turns mourning into dancing. He turns your pain into praise. He turns your weakness into worship. And if you would just hold on, just one more day, just one more prayer, just one more act of faith, you will see what He had in store all along. This is not your breaking point. This is your breakthrough point. This is not where you die. This is where you come alive again. This is not your burial. This is your rebirth. This is not your funeral. This is your fight song. This is not your final chapter. This is just the middle. And what God has started, He will complete. So breathe. Breathe again. Not because the situation is over, but because God is still sovereign. Cry if you must, but don't quit. Rest if you need to, but don't run away. Crawl if you must, but keep moving. Lift your eyes. Lift your heart. Lift your voice. Even if it's weak. Even if it's cracked. Even if it's just a whisper. Say to yourself, this is not the end. I still have hope. I still believe. I still trust. Because God is with me. You might feel like Job, stripped, hurting, misunderstood, alone. But remember, Job's end was greater than his beginning. You might feel like David, hunted, cornered, betrayed, crying out in caves. But David still became king. You might feel like Joseph, abandoned, falsely accused, forgotten in a pit or prison. But Joseph still made it to the palace. You might feel like Hannah, mocked, empty, weary of waiting. But Hannah still gave birth to a prophet. You might feel like the woman at the well, shamed, isolated, unloved. But she still met Jesus, and her story changed. So don't give up. Don't listen to the voice of despair. Don't let your mind become a prison. Don't let the enemy write your conclusion. God has the pen. And when God writes your story, He never ends it in defeat. He never finishes with failure. His endings are always full of glory. His stories always end with light, not darkness. With redemption, not rejection. You have cried long enough. You have doubted long enough. You have feared long enough. It is time to believe again. Time to stand up again. Time to declare that even now, when you see no signs, when you hear no thunder, when you feel no strength, God is still working. Behind the scenes. Beneath the surface. Deep in your spirit. The seed is still alive. The promise is still alive. The purpose is still intact. This is not the end. It's the place where something new begins. It's the place where desperation meets destiny. It's the place where weakness meets the power of God. It's the place where your history gets interrupted by His mercy. And mercy is flowing to you right now. Grace is flowing. Hope is rising. Light is breaking through the clouds. Joy is coming in the morning. You may not have all the answers. You may not know how. You may not know when. But you know who. And He is enough. God is enough. He is enough to carry you. Enough to restore you. Enough to keep you from falling. Enough to catch you when you do. Enough to rewrite the story. Enough to open doors no one can shut. Enough to give peace that surpasses understanding. So lift your hands. Lift your head. And lift your heart to heaven. This is not the end. This is not the grave. This is not your end credit scene. This is just the pause before the praise. The silence before the sound of victory. The night before the sunrise. The cocoon before the wings. You will fly again. You will laugh again. You will dance again. You will love again. You will dream again. If this word touched your soul, type it boldly in the comments. This is not my end. God still has a plan for me. Like, share, and subscribe for more heaven-sent, spirit-filled encouragement that revives broken hearts. You are not done. You are not alone. You are not at the end. You are just at the beginning of God's next great move in your life. Hold on. The best is still coming. God bless you.